Beyond Two Souls is the latest project from Quantic Dreams and is being led by world-renowned game director David Cage. The name also strikes controversy as he is often criticized for producing games that tend to feel more like watching a movie or TV show. Does his latest project break the trend, or is it just another game with extended cutscenes? As soon as you boot up the game, you'll notice a recognizable face. That's right, it's Ellen Page. The famous actress has been digitized as the character Jodie, a girl born with a spiritual entity named Aiden attached to her soul. Willem Dafoe also makes an appearance as Nathan, a doctor and father figure who at first aims to support Jodie. The relationship between these characters is quite strong and feels just like the movies. The motion capture and visual details of the face really makes these characters come to life, digitally. The story does, however, tend to get caught up in itself and goes a bit overboard. I'm not saying the plot is horrible, it's just trying too hard. Sure, the visual details are a great plus, but those aren't enough to make a convincing story, especially for a video game. You'll eventually brush these aside as the game's main highlight lies surprisingly in its gameplay. Players from Heavy Rain or Indigo Prophecy may get a familiar feeling, such as pushing the right button or flicking the right analog stick at the correct time to make the character react, but as soon as you jump into Aiden, the game really starts to shine. Floating around, interacting with objects, and possessing people really adds a sense of charm and gives the game identity. Another thing that's been improved in the David Cage formula is giving the player more control over the cutscenes. While there are still a lot of cutscenes, they now feel more playable in some form or another. For example, you could be watching a chase scene and all of a sudden you're controlling the character. It's dynamic, surprising, and I love it. Another interesting aspect is that the game has no game over. Instead, the player has to deal with the consequences, and that will inevitably affect the ending. And the game has a lot of endings, so you can expect a huge replay value out of Beyond Two Souls. David Cage has at one point said that games should not be limited to genres or traditional playstyles, and I totally agree. Even if you aren't a fan of his games, there's still interesting experiments, and they're slowly starting to get better. Beyond Two Souls may not convince naysayers, but it's definitely the right step in a bold new direction. If you aren't a fan of cutscenes or QTEs, you may need to avoid this one. But those who are even a bit curious, give it a shot. It's an experience you won't find anywhere else.